Ah, yes. Welcome to another live stream here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here, and today I have a very interesting one to really play and share with y'all, and hopefully to stir a greater conversation. Hopefully, that will be the goal and the accomplishment of today's stream. But before we begin, make sure y'all hit the like button, share this video, and please subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show as well. Also, follow me on my social media links. Follow me at Chaos Rain 7 on Twitter. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Also, follow me or follow my Rumble page on Rumble. I go by the name CRain23 on Rumble. And I did not put that in the shit. I did not put that in the description. Oh wow. That gave me a yellow thing already. Well, as you know, this commercial anyway. Anyhow. Also, join Discord service of the Chaos Rain Show as well. And what else am I missing here? I can't really recall if I'm missing anything else here. No, I don't think I missed anything else. So that's pretty much it. So now, for those that's watching, listening. Oh, and I forgot. Please join the membership of the Chaos Rain Show. You get some exclusives, some videos, live stream, shout outs, and possibly more depending on what membership you chose. Like always, we start from the beginning and work our way down. And like always, if you did not know the symbolism why I picked the certain numbers of the pricing of the memberships, then you're not been paying attention of how Chaos Rain Mind really works. I'm just saying. But one thing to know about, I did a poll, and right now I'm going to check my poll right now to see what is the outcome of the community poll. And right now, only got one vote. Now, I wish I did this earlier, but you know me, I do things on a timely fashion. And as you know, way how people were going to give more interaction to the stream, it did not surprise me that I only got one particular vote. It did not surprise me at all. So now, moving forward, and let me turn this volume down for a second. Moving forward, we're just gonna let it roll through, and I want y'all to watch and pay attention closely. I will run it maybe a few times for those that's not listening, just for add more context to this stream ahead. So no further ado, let us see the screen ahead. And let me sit back with my remote control. You know how I like to play people. You know me, how I grow.
I don't like the African women over here. I actually think that they're the ones who have influenced such a the negative mentality about American Black men. They're the ones who are coming over here encouraging Black women to say, "Oh, well, they're this, they're that." They're the ones standing in front of a lot of these conversations. They're in academia. They're in a lot of feminist studies, and they're the ones that are having the educational acknowledgement forum, so to speak. But then when we look at like the ratchet Black women, the women who propagate themselves like Sukianas, those women are not the actual representation of what you see in totality around Black women.
Let me stop right there. Let's stop right there. She says Sukiana and some other black women that's not ADOS said that they're not the representation of black women. Is that right? Is that right? Well, we might do some research on that to see if that is true. So, what I'm probably going to do, because I always got to look what really is going on here. And let me do this. This right here. I'm going to type her up, Sukiana, and find some more background of this chick. And I'm gonna let her run some more as I'm trying to find who she is. So let's continue on with this tape.
It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that. Sukiana,
the Megan Thee Stallions, those are not like the normal everyday American black women, but those women are being set in the forefront to speak for women like me, and that's what I got a problem with.
Right. You know, it's interesting you bring that up because, you know, and I know you've recently spoken about Sukiana. I know who she is. I don't spend a lot of time with her because I personally, others may disagree, I don't really consider her to be a major player in these conversations. However, the point that you made about African women coming, and I assume you mean either quote unquote fresh off the boat or more than likely the children of immigrants. Okay, so what's fascinating about what you said there is they tend to be the movers and shakers in a lot of these conversations. Divestors, it all centers around black men ain't shit. Why do you think that happened?
Sukiana. Let me think. And other women that's divestors. Now, we have to be very careful. As much as I would like to let that roll, but still it has to be put to thought. Are there many black women that live in America to represent or the front face of what is considered black culture that is either a first generation American that parents come from somewhere else and they come here, or the kids came here from their homeland and eventually adopt some of the Western culture / i.e. American culture here. Which one is it? And as y'all listening and watching this, please, I want you to hit the like button, the share button, and if you want to join membership, and support this channel. Be with the Cash App. I didn't put one up yet, and also be with Super Chat because I'm doing some right now, guys. I'm trying to. And I should probably type her up to know her background because Sukiana is one of them weird women. Very weird woman, personally. Let's see. Let's go around. Let's take a look here. So I'm going to type up right now, Sukiana, and do a little research on her. Because they said she is a foreign black woman. So let's see. Sukiana. Rapper. Suki Hana. Rapper. All right, let's see what. There we go. Found her. Let's take a look. Real name is Destiny Lynette Henderson, also known as Sukiana, is an American reality television personality and rapper. She rose to prominence as a cast member of the VH1 reality series Love and Hip Hop Miami. she has released one mixtape titled Wolf. And let me see if I can find a real background for her. Let me see, where is it? Okay, this is Wikipedia. It says here, Sukiyana was. Matter of fact, I'll share y'all. I'll share it too. Let me look. Yeah, I'll share it to y'all. So something on here. And if y'all in the building, please share the stream because, as you know, I'm looking behind different monitors, so I'm not gonna be able to see what's going on here, guys. Let's look at Wikipedia, find out what she really is. Sukihana, as wrote in Destiny Lanetta Henderson, born November 15th, 1991, also known as Sukihana, is an American reality television, which I read. Going down early life, Sukihana was born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah. She spent her formal years in the Creative Arts School and was based in Atlanta, Georgia, a cesspool of sodomy, and before moving to Miami, Florida. She got her nickname from an Asian restaurant in the Christina Mall. What is it with these black women and using Asian names? I never understand that. I find it weird. Very weird. Okay. And as someone joked, as tasting like Sukihana. She has 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. Not surprised. Who resides with Sukihana's grandmother, Cynthia, in Atlanta. Her children were seen on Love and Hip Hop episode 12. She had her first child when she was 18 years old, which, like, with modern women nowadays, and if she was born in the early 90s, making her millennial, it wouldn't be surprised that she'll be having kids. If you're born a certain decade or so, that you'll have kids roughly as you touch 18 years of age. So if she's 18, that will make it that her child now, her first kid now, is roughly 14 years of age, roughly, or 13. But since she was born right around that year, I would give best her child could be born either around 2009 or 2010. As I'm looking down further down, it does not say her origins. Sukihana made her name as one of the stars in her 3rd season of Love and Hip Hop, blah, 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 and it goes down. So this is not giving me nothing. So let's do some more Googling. Let's see if this will tell me something. And I'm scanning again. And it says 5'1", short woman, very short. And I'm looking around, scanning with my eyes. It says here she is African American descent. And she's private. So where is this Miss Love Lady that, or this lady that was on my screen right now, talking about that this yeah, that was interesting. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. I'm looking at it still. She's not really much into the information about herself. I'm not sure where the lady on the screen, I think her name is Paris. I'm not sure where she get the background of if Sukihana is not ADOS. I don't see it in the information that's really given for the public, for the internet. I'm not sure where a lot of black women getting the information from. But it really show no evidence that she is not how can you say? Did not say she's not ADOS. I could be wrong. Let me keep looking. I'm looking around. Come on, guys. All right. Let's look. I'm looking at more of her bio. I would share this, but I'm just scared the first time because pure words, guys. And from looking at my eyes, I do not see anything about her like that. I could be wrong. I do not see it. No. So let's look at another page. And I'm going to look at one more thing. We're going to continue on with the video because it does not seem to me it shows any more information about her. Oh, matter of fact, I do this better. Is Sukiana a rapper? Let's look at this. African American. I don't think Google's going to give me much of this. All right, let's see what it tells me. Well, there's very much unknown her family backgrounds. So, but I can't really say that she's not, personally. And the only reason I'm looking at is good. I don't think she's talking no lingo or slang, so no. Well, it doesn't really show it. So unfortunately, it looked like she is African American, born ADOS here. Oh well. So that doesn't really hold up to what she's saying. So let's keep going, guys, with this because I had to really do a little quick Google search. All right, pay attention now.
You know what? I really don't know. I just don't appreciate it. And I've had my fair share of disputes with them, whether it's been verbally on Twitter or whatever the case may be. I honestly cannot say. But I do think that we have a very bad issue with conflating cultures. It's so easy for people to spite and make and minimize Black culture in America, and then they rip their flag loud and proud. But then when it comes to Black women, we're all seen as this one big origin. We're all seen as this one group until you're not on woman code or you're not agreeing with them and you're not doing the things they do, because we do act like a monolith. We march like one band, one sound. If you don't look a certain type of way, if you don't have the aesthetic, then you're not that girl, and they're gonna make it to where that is. But I honestly have no idea where that came from, why these women are heading the divestment groups, why these women are the first ones to speak out about how terrible men are or how violent they are or how dangerous they are. They speak in front of a lot of American Black issues solely because they're here, but they're not from here. And it causes a lot of confusion because they're part of the reason why Black men are so mad at Black women, but they're not us.
Right.
Before I continue, I'm looking right now. Hold on, guys. Where is it? See, the confusing thing about all this, yes, they might not be ADOS women, but they are surely in the facility representing ADOS women, just like how certain men are represented as ADOS FDA Black men. You cannot distinguish the difference. Either they have accent or they let's be honest, they just come in and infiltrate. Okay, all right, hold on, guys, I'm trying to find somebody right now. Okay. Hold on, guys. Now, I get the mic close to me. I noticed a lot of brothers been saying about the sisters and been talking about the infiltration for some time now. And I never want to believe it because I look at most black people, either they're part of black people or not, they still have to interact with black people. I never thought that they will use and do talking points to cause more division and harm or separation amongst the group until, this lady brought it to our attention. And the funny thing about all this is there are some women out here and there are some content creators that don't represent black people or black folks that do push divestment talk, so-called fake level ups, and we never know their backgrounds personally because we always think that it's just normal black people. But when you look at and pay attention closely, that once they start reveal that they're not black folks and they could be, let's say, mixed or whatever, then it really makes you with a side eye, saying, okay, if you're not black or you're ADOS or FDA, then why are you here trying to encourage like my other women, young women or young push girls, to what they should be doing or not doing? You don't have no ties or ties to the soil. You do not have the actual black experience unless you were here for a few generations. Now, if you came here as a first generation, it's going to take your next descendants or children that you intermingle in the soil to have actual ties to the soil. And I don't think personally, they don't have no skin in the game to really direct what black people have already gone through in this country for the last 300 to 400 years, personally. But like I said, you got people nowadays, they want to stick their nose and their face into a lot of black folks' business and try to not guide people that's their age range, but people that's younger, that's very impression in minds. Let's keep listening in. Let's keep going.
That's a really good point. And everybody knows, Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore and others, the tension between native-born African Americans and fresh off the boat / children of African immigrants, and to a lesser extent Caribbean, to a lesser degree. Exactly. But there's a lot of tension between the two. But I gotta hand it to you, Miss Paris. You're the first I've heard frame that tension in the way that you did. You have African black women who hold positions in academia,
they do,
and or media in some way, social media. I'm thinking of Jackie Reed and MSNBC. In some type of way, they hold positions in media, and they are able to utilize their positions to promulgate views that would be considered black men ain't shit. And you raise a really good point. It's one thing for Oprah Winfrey. I'll use her. It's one thing for Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg to do that. Okay, fine. They homegrown. I'm speaking as a black man. There are women. Fair enough. We can have that debate. But for these other ladies to come in and do that, that's a whole nother. That I gotta admit, that is something to think about there. And as you were talking, I was thinking about Bossip.
Mona Scott Young.
I was thinking about Bossip. I was thinking, like you said, Mona Scott Young. I was thinking about. What's this? There's another one. There's a number. The Shade Room. That's it. The Shade.
Mona Scott. Let me look her up right there. Who this Mona Scott is? Mona Scott. All right. Let's take a look. Oh, damn, she old as hell. She's like 50, might be 50. No, she turned 56 already. Let's take a look at the Wikipedia Mona Scott's. Where is she? Or actually bio. Mona Scott's bio. Mona Scott Young. Let's look at this. Because we have to break down each one of these characters, man. Mona Scott Young, as it's held, born February 15, 1967. She's an American television producer and entrepreneur, CEO, etc. Going down the list. And she also was the reality television franchise I Love Hip Hop. She produced that. Scott's born and raised in New York City to Haitian parents. Oh, we got a live one. Look at this here. So she is not ADOS. That's one. That's one. In 2005, she married Sean Young. They have 2 children. Violators. While working in Radio City music halls, Scott Young was approached by the Brooklyn group Trackmasters to come aboard in their marriage. And then she met music executive Chris Light. And in 1996, the two co-founders and managers company Violator. Over the course of 20 years, Violator helped launch the revamp of careers of artists such as Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J, Q-Tip, Foxy Brown, Ja Rule. We can keep going on. And they also got 50 Cent up here too. And as I'm scanning through, we could look for her television career, which is boring. We're not going for all that. I'm just going to scan through. Yeah. Yep. So she is not ADOS. That's one. Let's continue. And like always, pay attention to detail.
Room.
I'm thinking about these major social media.
And the Shade Room. Yes, the Shade Room, from what I'm understanding, is run and controlled and operated by 2 married groups. They are actually from the continent of Africa. I'm not sure what part of Africa. I believe it could be Nigeria or Ghana. It's somewhere in the west coast of Africa. They're the ones that develop and create what we call the gossip media outlet, the Shade Room. So let's keep listening.
Media platforms that are founded and operated by African women.
Nicki Minaj is not an American black woman, and she has had one of the most prominent influx of influences on women being overly sexual and provocative, along with women being bisexual. And her main audience is the LGBTQ community. And when you look at those types of things and you think about the influx of American women and how we are influenced to look a certain type of way or behave a certain type of way or the raunchiness, it's like everything about it does not reflect the women that are always on the front line when it comes to black men and what we need to get done or how we're operating in society. We're having conversations that are nuanced, 50-50. Why are we discussing money? It's always been a thing that black women have always worked in America. It's always been a thing that we've always had to help contribute to our household in certain type of way. Being a stay-at-home mom has always been a privilege for us. Things like that, those are nuances. We should not be having those conversations. Love for black Americans look a lot different than everybody else. We're discussing vetting. Why are we discussing vetting? Because everybody knows in the black community, it's supposed to be all hands on deck. We've never made it okay to have children out of wedlock. We've never made it okay to have multiple kids by different men. And we've never made it okay to be a deadbeat dad. That's never been a thing in black America. But you have all.
No. Well, I don't know if I have to agree with that, Paris. I had to kindly disagree with that. Only the rampant of single motherhood really started to kick off in the 70s. And if you look at certain time frames, there were black people, ADOS, FDA, that was already here, and they started the process of having the children out of wedlock. It started to creep up a little bit. It didn't really reach a real high plateau and then really surgeons up until 1980. But during the 70s, the process was started to really begin in a way. And you got to really understand the history of when the Africans, especially people that's from the continent, start to get citizenship and able to start coming to this country. They did not really start to come into this country back since the end of the 1700s until that America opened back the doors for Black people in Africa to come back here up until 1961. So from 1795 or up until 1961, and if we can do some Google research, it might give different information, but we could be clear that Africans started to really come back to this country, or was allowed to come back to this country up to the 60s. And let me do the math. What's the expand of that numbers? Calculator. I'm going to do 1961. And we're going to remove the scientific. We're going to use standard. We're going on scientific. 1961. Yeah, still doing that. I hate that. And we're going to subtract it by 1795. That's a span of 166 years. And if I use chat, if I still have it available. Because usually Google will be a little bit more time consuming. So let's look at ChatGPT and see what the AI gives me. All right. What year Africans from the continent was able to come to America for citizenship? I'm not sure that's the right question. Let me see what the AI pops out. And it's giving me a whole lot of things. Yeah, it's not giving me an actual projection. Oh, wait, I found something. However, African immigration to the United States was subject to restrictions, immigration policies, and racial discrimination for much of the country history. It was not until the mid 20th century, during the Civil Rights Movement and after the Immigration and National Act of 1965, that immigration laws were changed to limit racial quotas and allow for more diverse immigration for Africans in other regions. Let me share my screen. I was right. And usually it says 61. I remember it was 1961, but after 4 years, because Africans did start to come back to get in this country during the 60s. But 4 years later, when civil rights was enacted, a lot of other policies was put into play. Once they said that Black people, ADOS in America, was now going to be able to be equal to whites in America. Let's take a look, and I'm going to share that to y'all right now. Let's look at this. I'm going to highlight for y'all. And it shows you the legal status of African immigrants in the United States and vote and then per country 1863. But really, truly, this is the one that caught the attention. Right here. Immigration National Act of 1965. And there's a quota. That was a quota that they put now removed to remove the restrictions. And it shows here, since then, Africans have been able to immigrate to the United States and pursue citizenship through various channels, such as family-based sponsorships, employment-based visas, and diversity visa lottery program. If you have time period events in mind, African Americans, okay. All right. And I'm looking right now. So that's it. Let me stop sharing. Wow. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Let's keep watching, guys.
These other people who are jumping into conversations telling us these are our issues. That should not be the focus. We have black men who go get trades. We got black men who are very intelligent, but they telling us that y'all can't read.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would appreciate that. I will never be in agreement with it.
Let me go back to Demetrius. Demetrius, go right here. You on the air.
Yeah. So, I definitely like the point that the sister just made. We even got some of our gay brothers that are from, Spanish descent or whatever, that kind of push these kind of these agendas, like the guy Jason Lee, in the black community, kind of behind the degeneracy of the image of black men and women. But what I was going to say, the main thing I was going to speak on was, as you was talking about, and we see it all the time, like, damn, if she just shaved off about 20 pounds, she'll be straight. We see that all the time. And I just don't, I see men, as you said it, and Kevin Samuel was saying, men have improved themselves.
Mm-hmm.
In mind saying, I want to be a better version to get, to get a wife, to get a girlfriend, to present myself better when I approach a woman. But women are not coming with that same approach. Women still have the whole idea of accept me as I am, whether it be the weight or whether you don't have the weight on it, you have the nasty attitude.
Yep.
You had these kids and they bad as hell. If you got kids, you have to get them kids in line if you want to get a man. That's going to help a lot if you have kids. But a lot of times women, you can't say nothing to my kids. They won't get their kids in line. They won't move and say, I'm doing this to get a man. As when women go out, they say, oh, I dress like this for me. I ain't dressing like this to get no man. This is how women mentality is, versus men improving themselves, not only for themselves and for the community, but definitely men say, hey, listen, I want to prove myself so, I can get a wife and I can take care of family. But women are not doing the same thing. Women are not.
Let me jump in on that, Demetrius. I'll let you continue. But, that's a really good point that Demetrius just raised, Paradise.
He did. He made a very.
Why is it so difficult for black women to say, I'm doing this to either get a, man, husband, boyfriend, whatever, or I'm doing this to keep my man, boyfriend, husband? Why is that so difficult for so many black women?
You know what? I'm going to say this, and I really don't want this to come off as an excuse because I don't agree with it. And I push back on it all the time. Based off of in our culture.
Before we continue, make sure you guys like the stream because, matter of fact, let me go back because I can't see the monitor at my end. Let me see. I have to put the AG1 gives you high quality. Hold on, guys. Wait a second, guys. Hold on. All right, make sure you guys keep but all right, y'all liking the stream. All right, as y'all watch, hit the like button. Likes are free. I'm flipping back and forth so I can know what's going on. Damn, what else do I do? Before she goes into the culture aspect of things, culture is everything. It defines not only a nation, but defines people. Beautiful thing about black people in America, culture is always re-emerging, redefining, and always evolving. I cannot speak of any other country outside the world that a culture keeps reinventing itself. We had Black Power. We had disco. Hell, we have even rap and hip hop. And those are just the music aspects of things. But it's deeper than that. It is the essence that black people as a whole are always reinventing and creating and making things very much enticing for the whole world to consume. Keep that in mind. So let's keep going.
Culture, right? It took years for men to break down and basically say, you know what? We're here, the good ones. We don't agree with this. We don't agree with the gang violence. We don't agree with, walking out on the kids. We don't agree with abusing women. We don't agree with that. It took you guys, it took a long time to change the narrative about who Black men really are. And when we did get on the same page and we had the small sector of Black Boy Joy, Black Girl Magic, and Black Love around, I would say, 2011, 2016-ish. Then after that, it turned and changed, and then emerged Kevin Samuels, who shifted the conversation and go, we got some issues with our sisters. They've been made to feel like they have been doing nothing wrong all this time. And I think that's what it is, because we've been enabled, we've been coddled, we've been babysat for a long time, generations. So now you have multiple generations of women teaching other women how to be a catalyst of bad behavior. It's nothing but bad behavior. You don't have to respect a man, you don't have to honor a man, you don't have to do anything a man say, and as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. And that's the wrong thing we're teaching. So now when women are saying, you know what, this ain't right, I want a man, I need a man, I should be doing what my man says, I should not be taking our personal business outside, I should not be trying to embarrass him, I should not be trying to minimize him.
But unfortunately, that's what's going on in our society. I mean, too many, not enough where you want to lay, but a lot of sisters are doing this to a lot of men, especially the Black men in this community. I'm not sure what you're going to do about it, fellas. I mean, I heard y'all guys getting your passports and traveling out of the country, still you don't take the respect. That might work, but it's much deeper than that. Is you got to understand who you messing with, who you dealing with. One thing, time is our best friend in regards to how a woman moves towards you. And if she's moving very much in a way that she doesn't really see you of any value or any respect, then that's where you and her stand. And when that happens, disrespect is going to be the end result between you and her. Now, a lot of dudes say they're not in business fixing women. I agree. Same thing, we're not in business fixing men. But you got to understand that people are where they're at because they feel the way how they move towards opposite sex is normal behavior. And we all know what we do today is not considered normal. It's very dysfunctional. Majority of Black folks say don't want order, they want chaos. Women want the majority chaos. But more men live and thrive in the chaos. When there is going to be order, where is going to be a place where someone's going to restore order? Because you're not leaving it to Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie's not going to restore your order. He's not in business restoring order. You, as a man, have to really make a conscious decision. Either you're going to put order or not. And I think majority of men today are not up tasked to deal with the order and restore order within their own communities and within their own selves. Because we always talk about leadership. We always talk about bettering community or living environments that's better. You can't do that when everybody wants to act and do what the hell they want. They want disorder. That's not how the world works. In regards to disrespect, it's evident when a woman disrespects because she's really, really much in a chaotic state. And she's hoping that she's going to test you, Black man, on what the hell you're going to do about it. Are you going to use the threat of violence, or are you going to use the ability of turning the other way and walking away? She's giving you these options to see where or what type of man you are and testing your actual manhood, which to me, I tell most women, it's very dangerous. You should not be doing that at all. You shouldn't even be testing no man at all. I don't care what race of man is. When you start testing and trying a man, you put yourself in a masculine frame and you put yourself in danger. So let's keep going.
Maybe I am wrong. You got other women going like, she crazy. What is she doing? She not on code. She's a pick-me. And they use it as like this whole one band. Like I said, we have this aesthetic, this one band, one sound thing. We're not a monolith until it's time to be on one accord.
Gotcha. Let me, Demetrius, stay where you are. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me go over to Stefan. Stefan, you're on the air. I'm sitting ready. Before we go any further, let me also say, gentlemen, it's two things. We need another 100 likes and we need another $100 on the cash. Into the algorithm. We need another $100 Obsidian Radio. Let's get it moving. Stefan, you're here. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah, I know it's a little bit late, but when she was talking about the women in academia, I thought that was such a great point, because I know when I had a bunch of friends in, like, Villanova, Temple, and Drexel and all that.
Now, for the ladies, the black women that has PhDs or are in academia that have went out there and got these doctorate degrees, I cannot fully say all of them are non-ADOS and they're foreign black women. I cannot say that, but there is a growing number of a lot of women or a lot of black women that do go to these universities that's not from America. Some come from another country in regards to VH1 visa and etc. So keep that in mind that they are out here. Fair use and fair use. Well, actually, let's keep going.
Back in the day, and I went to school in the mid 2000s. I remember a lot of black Americans.
And please make sure you hit the like as you come your way. Like
American chicks in my age or like grad school age, they were actually like womanists. And I remember they would actually argue with the feminists and the more so like identity politics, liberal type of feminists. And as I got older, like in the more recent dating market or whatever, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the womanists are like at odds with the goals of the liberals. So like the liberal feminists kind of push them out, because like I don't see as many of those like black female voices amplified. Whenever I see a black woman amplified on like YouTube or TikTok or whatever, it's a lot of times it's an adversarial type of voice, whether it's a queer black woman or a straight black woman or whatever. They'll amplify more of the ones that kind of toe the line of the overall, like whatever benefits the overall
But what they
feminist.
think is a positive is anti-men has to be plus women, and that's where we're having the issue. I do not have to be anti-black men to be for black women, but somehow, some way, and like I said, I do think that it is the influence of the non-American black women that has intercepted that, because they a lot of times talk about abuse, and they talk about the financial abuse and all these other things. That was not black culture. That was not black love. That's not to say that there was not abuse prevalent. That's not to say that there are not men who wasn't weaponizing. But even when they talk about these things, they talk about black women and they speak for us like we've always been the victim. And then it's like, well, why y'all don't never mention the grandmas who used to kill their husbands by eating food? Y'all don't never talk about that. But you were quick to try to make us feel like we're victims.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. And that's some new. Heard about grandmas poisoning people and people eating food and losing their life. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's really a foreign woman saying. Now I think about it. I mean, if y'all have friends that's not from America, if they tell you stories of that, I mean, that's criminal charges in my opinion. It's not a good look if your family member is pointing somebody to take someone out. But given made, financial abuse is common if you're a woman, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If the man pays the cost to be the boss and is paying for all the bills, yes, he is in his right to really do whatever he sees fit with his money, with you. I remember Miss Legault said it best that women are children. I didn't want to agree with that. I would say some women act and carry themselves like children. But as women as a whole, I cannot say all of them act like children, because to be in a childlike mentality, that tells me you are in what we call arrested development. And last thing a man or woman should be dealing with, especially a man, you should be dealing with a woman that's still in arrested development, in my opinion. because she's in that infancy mindset. She is no woman to really build upon or even look towards for you to really groom your children, because she herself is still a child. And two children don't raise each other properly in the society. That's my check. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going, guys.
Victims of black men, and anything that they propagate, it has to be anti-man in order to big up women, and I don't appreciate that.
Miss Letitia Underwood, go right ahead. You on the air with Miss Paradise Paris.
Hello, Obsidian. Hello, Miss Paradise Paris. I just came up to back you up when what you said about the African women spewing a lot of this rhetoric. That's something that I had to look at because I grew up in a community where I grew up in a predominantly all Black community, and that's all I saw was Black women cooperating. The women in my family, they have no problem paying bills. They have no problem doing what is necessary to make sure that the household is taken care of, even if they have to become the breadwinner, right?
Absolutely.
I'm more traditional, but I understand that Black women are going to do what is necessary for the household. So when all of these conversations about 50-50 is for roommates and he's not a real man, I had to take a step back, like, wait, where is this coming from? Because this is not real life. This is Black women we don't talk like this. This was never a thing for us. And so when I started to take a step back and just listen to who was having these conversations, and I realized, oh, this is a lot of African women and Caribbean women, especially African women. And I realized that their culture, they're trying to bring their culture to American Black men, but the American Black culture is different. And so now they're frustrated because while they're becoming more liberal and progressive, their men are not dealing with that, are not allowing that. So they want to try to swing over to our men, but then they want to bring in that, well, you got to pay my bills while we dating, and that princess mentality and all of that. Soft life was started by
All right. That's y'all. As I got back in here, running through some difficulties. 1 second. Okay, let's keep going.
app. That soft life was started by an African woman, right? The woman who popularized it on social media. I used to collaborate with her on a different app. She brought that to social media and made.
So it seemed to me a soft light was developed by a so-called what they call that word? The some foot, ashy foot. I don't know what by some African woman. Not surprised, because African women in the content, they got it rough, they got it hard. Like literally, them men will turn those women in a blink of an eye. Like they're gonna give the right hand, the left hand, the up and down. They're well known, accustomed doing that type of stuff. That's why, women should understand, especially ladies, black women, or just in general. This is as free as it's going to get in America. Outside America, there's no liberty, freedom to a lot of women. Maybe in another first world country, but I just don't see it because our men deal with other women in their culture and their groups. They don't deal with disrespect. And as you could tell, because they don't deal with disrespect, there are some ladies, what I'm hearing right now, have traveled back to the continent to find husbands, but they get a rude awakening once they start back talking and using that mouth towards African men in the continent. And it makes me think why a lot of women don't want to really move. Well, a lot of Americans, but let's say black women in general, don't want to move and live in a predominant African nation because they can't run that mouth, that lip towards the African American man like they do to African men. Person. But that's what I've seen and heard. But let's keep going. Fair use, but actually, let's roll the tape.
That popular, but so I just wanted to give you some support in that because I see it too. I don't want you to think you're crazy because
no, it's fine. I'm cool with that. I know people are not gonna agree with me, but that don't mean I stop saying what I gotta say, right?
No. Both of you have a basis.
No, she's
both
saying
of you have a basis here.
Exactly.
If the argument is that the soft life that we talk about on black social media got its origin not from within the native black community itself among its black women, but got its origin outside of it from either the Caribbean or in this case on the African continent, then it does raise questions. Okay, soft life. So where did this come from? Why are they doing that? How does it apply to us? And it makes a really good point. Miss Letitia, you make a point that these ladies, meaning African, have difficulties with their men. Read African. Okay. Then they get hold of Western feminism. Okay. Then they want to map that over to black American men. Okay. They have difficulty, but here's the problem I have with that. How do they square that? Okay, the men in your society, they're hidebound, patriarchal. Okay, I got that. You got the feminism. You come to America. You want to deal with black men, but you still want to go back to the soft life? How are you going to be a progressive feminist living the soft life at the same time? That's what I don't understand.
That's basically what Letitia was hitting at. Like, a lot of the things that I see that those women complain about, they complain about the sex. They complain about the money. They complain about having to be maids and cook. That's where the whole idea of being a slave. But I kid you right now, I can go over my best friend's house and she has 2 babies and she's gonna get up and cook for those kids. Like, that if she goes to work, she comes home to cook. Yes, she's tired, but that's not something she's going around saying, well, just because I'm having to do this by myself, I can't have a man here. That's not our mentality. We've never thought like that. And it took for me to sit back and really look. And when the whole rep your flag thing started to be very prominent on social media, I started looking like, this not from us. This not something that we are based about. This is not how we talk. Or even when they started saying, black women are the main ones on the front line when you guys are getting killed by the police. We're supposed to. That's our duty. We don't complain about that because that man that's out there being slain by the police, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my son, that's my community, that's my protector. I'm not complaining about going to stand in front of the police because he don't want to harm me. He want to harm you. But these women have got in front of these conversations, and then that's why I say we have such a huge issue because I've never known for it to be a common thing for black women to be overly provocative in front of children. Now they're talking about Caribbean dancing and, how they twerk being something that it's okay to do if it's not your partner, or it's okay to do with kids. We don't do that in black culture. Don't get me wrong. It's not to say we don't have raunchiness or ghetto stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But we know that there is a quick. 'Cause- 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 'c
I'm not sure anybody agrees or disagree with that notion. I might have to disagree with that. As you know, a lot of dances has been coming around, has been re-innovated. You remember the backslide, all the American dances that if you go and took a flight or even watch certain videos, not documentary videos of how people dance outside America, they start learning a custom that from what was going on in America. I mean, I think the twerking personally could come from a foreign woman. It's possible. But is it really reality? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Um, Personally, because we're the innovators of a lot of things, from not only language but also dance. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
There's a line there. There's a line there.
The kids and the women
Yeah.
and men and we don't do that. So where are these women coming from? And they have all of this input and this influence, and then they have the sectors to do it. These women are
Let me see if my volume's. Oh yeah. They all right, so I'm continuing. Hope you guys liking the stream so far. So much information been laid in the stove of the videos, and like I said, it speaks for itself. Personally, of how this short little synapse or analysis of the invasion or the exposure of the truth between Black women, ADOS, and the gender war. Okay, my default player is acting up, so let me do this, guys. I'm gonna find the clip again. Okay. Okay, I found it. So as I speak, matter of fact, while I'm up here, let me drop the StreamYard link while I get things back in order. Cause this thing is acting up. But you know how it is. When you're sharing content, it's never crystal clear. And I don't expect women to come up on here to have this conversation. Oh wait, I can't use this. This is gonna take too long. Let me cancel. Let me use another device. Cause that can't work. One thing is evident. Since the women have alleged came into black spaces as not representation of black women that is not descendant of slaves here, my biggest question I should ask, what black women are really going to do about it now? Because if this was been a problem, and a lot of men have been expressing this, you only have yourself to blame, ladies, about this, because the men have been talking about you protecting your own space and your own inner representation of women here in America. I never expressed on it because I looked at it was no value of me telling y'all women what y'all should be doing. If you find other groups of women that are opposing of you but not you, that you have to keep that in control. I think one thing with black men now, what they do now, is they're trying to get hold of this image through social media and YouTube now. And they have done a pretty decent job so far. I mean, it's still a lot more work because, like I said, we don't run media like that. But let's say that, for the sake of conversation, you have to really make the conscious effort to protect your inner space, because every woman that is out here twerking, doing, drugs, or hell, even going around doing ratchet stuff, we always got to keep in mind that these are the representation of within the group. Okay. Here's a video. Okay, so I'm going to run back the video again from where we are, because, it was kind of messed up. Video files. And let y'all listen to more of this.
I don't like.
Right.
Have difficulties with their men. Read.
They do.
Okay.
Loudly about
then they get hold of Western feminism. Okay.
I'm going to wind back to the 16th.
And that black women are going to do what is necessary for the household. So when all of these conversations about 50-50 is for roommates and he's not a real man, I had to take a step back, like, wait, where is this coming from? Because this is not real life. This is, black women we don't talk like this. This was never a thing for us. And so when I started to take a step back and just listen to who was having these conversations, and I realized, oh, this is a lot of African women and Caribbean women, especially African women. And I realized that their culture, they're trying to bring their culture to American black men, but the American black culture is different. And so now they're frustrated because while they're becoming more liberal and progressive, their men are not dealing with that, are not allowing that. So they want to try to swing over to our men, but then they want to bring in that, well, you got to pay my bills while we dating, and that princess mentality and all of that. Soft life was started by an African woman, right? The woman who popularized it on social media. I used to collaborate with her on a different app. She brought that to social media and made that popular. But so I just wanted to give you some support in that because I see it too. I don't want you to think you're crazy because.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm cool with that. I know people are not gonna agree with me, but that don't mean I stop saying what I gotta say, right?
No. Both of you have a basis.
No, she's saying
both of you have a basis here.
Exactly.
If the argument is that the soft life that we talk about on black social media got its origin not from within the native black community itself among its black women, but got its origin outside of it from either the Caribbean or, in this case, on the African continent, then it does raise questions. Okay, soft life. So where did this come from? Why are they doing that? How does it apply to us? And it makes a really good point. Miss Letitia, you make a point that these ladies, meaning African, have difficulties with their men. Read. Okay. Then they get hold of Western feminism. Okay. Then they want to map that over to black American men.
Western feminism is a killer to a lot of societies, including ours. And because it's the silent killer, that it conditions one said women to say, you are powerful, you're strong, you are the Amazonian women, you're that what they call queen boss B. You should be ruling control. Yeah, it's like this beehive mentality, and we all know humans are not bees. I know most people want to push that to modern men, but it's not how you're going to condition modern men to accept bee mentality or what they call beehive mentality. No, no, that's not how it works. No, this is a patriarchy. You gotta live it, love it, and respect it. Let's go.
Okay. They have different.
Oh, and guys, please keep hitting the like button and the link, call links in the chat room if you want to expound on or give your own take on this. Links in the chat room.
Difficulty, but here's the problem I have with how do they square that? Okay, the men in your society, they're hidebound, patriarchal. Okay, I got that. You got the feminism. You come to America, you want to deal with black men, but you still want to go back to the soft life? How are you going to be a progressive feminist living the soft life at the same time? That's what I don't understand.
That's basically what Letitia was hitting at. Like, a lot of the things that I see that those women complain about, they complain about the sex. They complain about the money. They complain about having to be maids and cooking. That's where the whole idea of being a slave. But I kid you right now, I can go over my best friend's house and she has 2.
Hold on, guys. As it loads up. Oh, fast forward. Actually, I can fast forward. Let me see.
That's my uncle. That's my son. That's my community. That's my opposed to. That's our duty. We don't complain about this. This is not how we talk. Or even when they started saying, black women are the main ones on the front line when you guys are getting killed by the police. We're supposed to. That's our duty. We don't complain about that because that man that's out there being slain by the police, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my son, that's my community, that's my protector. I'm not complaining about going to stand in front of the police because he don't want to harm me. He want to harm you. But these women have got in front of these conversations, and then that's why I say we have such a huge issue because I've never known for it to be a common thing for black women to be overly provocative in front of children. Now they're talking about Caribbean dancing and, how they twerk being something that it's okay to do if it's not your partner, or it's okay to do with kids. We don't do that in black culture. Don't get me wrong. It's not to say we don't have raunchiness or ghetto stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But we know that there is a quick.
There's a line there. There's a line there.
The kids and the women and the men we don't do that. So where are these women coming from? And they have all of this input and this influence, and then they have the sectors to do it. These women are in broadcast journalism. They have their own magazines. They're in television speaking on our behalf. They're on the blogs. They're everywhere. And now you have women like me who have to have a platform to stop that from happening. And that's not talking about us and having a feminist movement or social security and welfare. That's not talking about that. I'm talking about the mentality has been corrupted to say black men are bad. Black men are our enemy. These are the women that are saying that.
Let me ask you a question, Miss Letitia. In your experience, this is a very interesting point.
So, like I said, it goes back to the twerking, the provocateur nature. I mean, let's be honest. This is not really much of a foreign thing because there are some ADOS women that will be provocative if given the right time and energy. And, you present them with the right money. And last time I checked, OnlyFans does not discriminate between which type of black person this is that create OnlyFans. Last time I checked, and I don't think there's real data on what is the ethnicity background in regards to each racial group that created OnlyFans account. I could be wrong, but I don't see that. I do not see it all. Let's keep going.
In your experience, have you seen the African women doing this? I want the soft life, but at the same time, I want to be a progressive feminist, and because they're running into difficulty with American black men in doing that, out comes all the Dusty and black men need sugar on the iced tea.
Yes, and I will give you an example.
Okay.
I was a woman, African woman, reached out to me. She is living here in the States now. She was married to an African man. He was, very patriarchal. He made $500,000. They were married for, I think, 16 years, 3 kids. They moved here and feminism took root. She saw how independent women were and women could work and have their own jobs and stuff. So she now she's looking to be remarried, but because she doesn't want to be subjected to her own culture, because she's, like I told her, said, you're rebelling against your own culture. She doesn't want to be subjected to her own culture and her upbringing. So she believes that being with American black men is much easier, right? So she's like, I don't want to be with the African man. I just want to be with an American black man. So I said, well, why is that? Why, like, if they're men? She's like, no. But I said, so okay, what's your problem? She's like, Letitia, they just don't. They're cheap. They don't want to spend any money. They don't want to commit. They don't want to marry you.
It's not like the black man is cheap that he doesn't want to spend money. The question we ask is, why should he spend money on you? Because let's be fair, ladies and gentlemen, a man will spend money if the price is right. But if the price doesn't seem right or it's not worth the squeeze, most men are going to pull back and be very, very selfish with that wallet. And I know majority of women want to be treated like princess, this princess mentality, this so-called Princess and the Frog, this Little Mermaid type of mentality. It's got a lot of modern women effed up in the game, real talk. And most men don't move like that. Even the dudes that's about to kick the can, they're very funny with their money, So you have to be very much, you have to give some value to a man to really put in his head that, all right, it's worth me throwing some few $100s to spoil you in that bit. If it's not that, most dudes are going to be comfortable with the coffee and, the Netflix and chill date. It is what it is. Let's keep going.
And I was like, okay, but how much money does he have to make? She was like, well, he has to make the same amount of money as I do. And I said, no, let's get real, because you're not making a lot of money. How much money?
You remind me of Just Pearly Things. She did something very recently, and as we know, she's over in the UK, and the majority of the black people in the UK are either of Caribbean and more recently African background. So the black woman on the show, she ended up kicking her off the show because she said the exact same thing that you just said. She said, I want to be with a man who makes as much money as me or more. And then when Just Pearly Things asked her for a specific number, she refused to give them the number, and Just Pearly Things kicked her off the show. So I want to hear what happened in your case, Miss Letitia.
Well, she ended up telling me how much she makes. And so I said, listen, okay, you're not being truthful, but I know for a fact that if it wasn't about the money, you wouldn't have a problem finding a man, because the average income for men in America is $50,000.
Right.
So there is a real number that you're not speaking. So I'm going to go ahead and go with about 100K.
Right.
But the question, and always the question boils down and has to be asked, do you qualify for that man that makes 100K? Because there's qualifiers, ladies. You hear these dudes constantly say what they look for and asking for if they're being brutally honest. But do you qualify for that? Because once a man makes certain income, I agree with the old man, he does get picky. And he should be picky because it is his money. And nowadays, if we're not really walking out on relationships and filing for divorce upwards to more than half, I don't think most men will be cared to lose too much money. If they say that in divorce, you're only gonna pay this woman for 2 years, and after 2 years, whatever she's able to do, she's on her own if she's married. And not only if you have children, you go out to co-parent. If that was put in the law books, I think more men will be so reluctant and will not worry about, taking too much of loss in a divorce. And trust me, men that got money, they could take the loss depending how much they make, but overall, most men in society are not in the business of this bouncing around marriage to marriage. It's not like it was 60 or almost 7 years ago. These times we're in now, bouncing around with your little money or what you make a yearly, you can't afford to taking hits from any form of divorce in the West, especially the states you reside. And a lot of men are very aware of this. And I think for their logic, in their mind, the best that they could do to fight this is to how can I say it? To talk about it. Anyway, let me keep going. Let's keep going, guys.
And I told her, I said, okay, so why do you need him to make 100K? You combined I think she was making like 50. I said, why don't you just combine your 50 with his 50, even if he makes 40,000 and y'all have a household of 90 to $100,000? Why
Right.
do you need something more than that?
Right.
This woman, you has thought this. I told this woman to jump off her bridge, pay for bills. What? What? Combine my income. Why do I have to combine my income? I was like, well, because you don't really qualify for much higher than that. You don't qualify for a man paying all your bills because you just don't have the hot factor that those men want. So, just you want to be married, get a man who's going to, bring his portion, and y'all make it work. I've sit in the chats, the women in the comment section, so I had to go to their profiles and look. Black American women, foundational Black American women don't have a problem with that, except for Gen Z, because they're so influenced by this African rhetoric. Gen Z and younger millennials, but older millennials and Gen X, we get it, right? Unless she's just truly traditional, we get it. But
to be honest, Letitia, I think what the main problem here is that.
Could you speak up a little bit, Ms. Paris?
Yeah, man. I mean, let's be honest. Someone want to keep their money and spend your money, fellas. And the beautiful thing about that, after they spend your money, they get bored, tired. They say, okay, now I'm ready to take half your stuff. Ain't that a beautiful deal? God, you gotta love America. That's why certain dudes that spit in actual game tell you, say, you go out to make her wait. She got to work for every little thing. Just don't sit there, finalize, and because if you're just going to jump in and jump out, you better just stay in the streets. I mean, that's as simple as it's going to get. Let's keep going. And trust me, the streets are beautiful, ladies. The streets are calling you, calling you, calling you, calling you.
Yeah, Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe the main problem here is that those women have been restricted in their quote unquote, and I'm using this term loosely, independence, to the point where when they get over here and they get with American Black men, they try to weaponize their standards over onto them based off their culture. We don't live like you guys do. Them. We don't live like them. We don't think like them. We don't talk like them. Our history and how we segue through society is a lot different. And they end up coming over here getting a culture shock. But what they happen to do is they get with American black men and they realize like, oh, they treat their women with a little bit more quote unquote respect. Because American black men, in my opinion, they are taught how to be mannerable. They are taught how to respect women. They are taught and raised to be, the heads of women. And, I don't think that those women get the same type of respect. They don't have a voice in their family. It's all or nothing. And so now they're trying to influence our women to do the same. And we are still repairing and trying to find a balance of what our predecessors did with making decisions on our behalf when it came to the crime bill and it came to bonding with feminism and it came to having welfare. We're trying to repair that because nowadays it's really no reason for American black women to not have it all. We literally can have a husband in the house, live in a nice neighborhood, have a decent living, and have our children in a 2-parent household without all the noise. But we have too much noise around us.
Yeah. Hold on a second. One second, guys. I mean, there's more to this, guys. Let me see if I can fast forward this bad boy. Oh no, that's it. That's it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. One thing I could take out of this in regards to the African side of things or the Caribbean or West Indian side of things is that there is some truth in this conversation. How much truth? I would, if I had to give it a percentage, I would say more than 85% of that, while the other 15% could be falsified. And the reason why, because America pushes who is black. If you're a Negro, FDA or ADOS that's compromised, yes, they will push you. But if not, they will use other people or other groups that are black in nature as the front face or the representation of black people in America. I'm surely confident that's what they'll do. And personally, in my opinion, if you're a descendant, if you're an ADOS woman, FDA woman, you might start paying close attention to who's around the circles that's pushing certain message that's creating more disunity and more turmoil and confusion within the sexes. I remember most of them have been warning a lot of ladies that you gotta watch your circles, your inner circles, because these are the same women are gonna be the representation of you that's gonna be pushing the same agenda that adds on to the gender war. And trust me, gender war today makes money. Let's keep it real. Hold on. 1 second. So, I hope that this was very insightful. I'm not sure it's going to create more of a bigger conversation. It probably will not, in my opinion. But at least I made the conscious decision to start this actual conversation. And I one step closer of exposing the truth of foreign black women and ADOS gender wars. As you know, I could probably did more insight to really figure out who's who in regards to more popular, not only content creators, but let's say generally more popular, more women that's the upfront of representation of black females or black women in America. She did mention Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is not an ADOS woman. She is a descent and the first. No, actually, is she a first generation? I believe she might be a first generation, or she could be born in Trinidad. But you know, she, like many other women from the islands, bring a sense of culture and, you know, raunchiness. So, and same with Cardi B. A lot of people say Cardi B is black, but she's not black. She's Hispanic. So let's stop it. Stop it. What else? I'm trying to find some here, guys, because I did not leave the links to this, and I'm probably gonna do that now because where's the links? Hold on. Okay. And so I give you all links now to follow me. And like always, please, guys, leave a comment at the end of this video. I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all take on this. Very important. And let me find. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find some. Okay. And let me leave y'all the Rumble page in the chat room. Okay, so that's it. The links to follow Chaos Reign are the following. And let me get rid of this. To follow me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Reign 7. Also, you can now add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. You can also join my Rumble page. I'm trying to grow Rumble up to a little bit. I want to get 25 followers on Rumble or more. The Rumble link is in the chat room and is in the description of this channel. So please click onto it. There might be another video I might upload on Rumble. So be on the lookout for that. Also, what else I'm thinking of? Oh, also join the Discord service of the Chaos Reign show as well. And like always, please be a member of the Chaos Reign show as well. Memberships, you know, have its perks. So please hit the join button and get the unique badges and emojis. As you know, I made it myself. Oh, another thing for those that will catch replay of this, I do make badges now for people that have memberships on YouTube. If we get far up to this point to this video, please, you know, if you're interested, leave a comment in one of these videos I done on here, and I'll give you my Gmail so you could we'll talk in regards to what you want out of badge and, you know, certain pricing. The badges I've created so far, for those that's not familiar, I created one for the real Nathan Daniel, and I think he and some other people are probably working on right now to create some more badges to make these memberships more enticing, because having this little weird little star badge, that's not gonna cut it. Listen, guys, we're professionals, and we're gonna do live streams and uploads and have channels on any social media. If they do give us the opportunity to have badges, let's make it enticing for the people that spend and join membership. That's the best thing we could do for our loyal followers. So, like I said, if you want custom badge, hit me up, guys. I will look for it in the comment section of this video. And what else? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Until next time. Oh, until next live stream. And tune in for the next live stream. As you know, we're about to approach, you know, the hot summers weather. You know, make sure your notification is hit on high bell. It's gonna be open panel for the next live stream. All right, then. Till next time. Adios. Rain.